Hey, hope you're doing well there. It's Dr. Matt here. We're talking today about a couple of things that I want to touch on and give you some strategies if you're really busy and some things you can do on your own and how you can help reframe that and get more things done. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about stress today because something like 80% of visits to health practitioners are related to stress. Okay? So typically you have more stress, you experience discomfort differently, you have more knee-jerk reactions to things, and everything will become it has a higher potential to become a jumbled mess, right? So when I'm thinking about how to make things a little bit easier from day to day, it starts in the morning in terms of your routine and where you're getting up and how you're planning things out, right? Because when you're in a rush to do things and you're go, right, you're that much have a higher potential to, not see things as clearly because stress changes your brain, right? And you're going to be a more knee-jerk reaction to things. So it takes some time to plan out your day, right? And when I write a list of things to do, I like to write down, the top 3 or 4 things I'm going to do because, if you write a list of 10 things, it's going to potentially stress you out more, I believe, if you think you got to get all this done, right? Versus if you think of 3 big things to get done that you need to get done to move yourself towards your goal and then go from there. Right? So start small, little bits add up over time. The other thing is breathing, right? If you focus on your breathing when you find yourself getting stressed, a couple of people have mentioned a few things to me in the past couple of days about, they're working on their breathing. So I thought I'd bring it up today. Typically, breathing out longer, 2 seconds in. Right? And my thing is about a minute, right? So you have a 1-minute meditation of 4 seconds out, longer out, remember, 2 seconds in, and taking the moment to just sit and be quiet. Right, and clearing your head. So breathing is going to be important. Now, some of the other things that, I talked about being busy in the beginning. Well, the interesting thing is if you add little things in consistently over time, and perceivingly, if you thought you were too busy in the beginning, just because maybe you didn't think they were important, right? But once you take that leap of faith and start doing them regularly, you'll find that, hey, those baseline things like exercise, good nutrition, a properly functioning nervous system and spine, 1-minute meditation here and there, or if you like to do yoga or practice meditation for longer periods of time, great. But those baseline things help you do more, right? That's the interesting part, right? Is that oftentimes we think we're so busy, right? But if you actually squeeze things in, small little things, and you make a consistent effort and be frequent about it, you're much more likely to find yourself successful with all the other things you like to do. Right? So some of the neat things I want to touch on today, why do people get an interesting result when they visit the chiropractor? Well, I want to talk about HRV, right? So HRV, heart rate variability, is the variability between your heart rate, right, in terms of the beats, right? And you want differences, you want it to be variable, right? You want your HRV to be higher, right? And now as a measure of health for resting heart rate, you want your resting heart rate to be lower, right? And don't forget, your physiology has a lot to do with your stress, and that's why I'm talking about this, right? But what they found is that with HRV, you want your HRV to be higher because it's partly a measure of your autonomic nervous system, all the things you don't think about, heart rate, breathing, digestion, right? What they found is that in some studies, you may actually have an effect on HRV in terms of increasing HRV with chiropractic, which is the neat part, right? And HRV is something we measure in the office. We want to take clinical measures at the beginning of a period of care and check in periodically to see where somebody is, right? But HRV can actually be increased, as shown in some studies, in terms of with this specific chiropractic adjustment and its effect on your neurology and how your body works, which I think is super neat. We've been measuring it for years. We just had another research paper come to light, which I thought I'd share with you guys. If you're interested in it, you're more than welcome to drop me a line. I'd be happy to send you the summary here. Okay. So in terms of your autonomic nervous system, HRV is typically a measure of overall health and adaptability. So that's really cool. The other things you can do on your own, I just talked about them. Right. So in terms of exercise, you can help improve your HRV, right? And you'll find that if you exercise more efficiently and better, your stroke volume gets better in terms of how your heart beats. Your resting heart rate will go down, which lower resting heart rate means more health. Just like higher HRV means more health. Okay. The diet in terms of the foods you eat, if you're chronically stressed, you're going to pick easier foods typically, maybe higher sugar, right? And in turn, that's going to create that cycle over and over again, right? And you're going to be more stressed out from eating more sugar, right? So it's a vicious cycle that keeps going around and around. And if you don't make the choice to stop it and say, I'm not too busy, I can make time for this, right? You have to say, I'm gonna make time for this. Otherwise, you're gonna always say, I'm too busy, okay? The last thing was exercise, nutrition, and the meditation part, right? I just told you about a 1-minute meditation you can do on your own. I think it's valuable. I use it typically when I get down and sit in the office before I start seeing people in the afternoons, in the mornings. I find it really useful. And I think if you find yourself really stressed, start with something, commit to something smaller that you could see yourself doing, 4 or 6 months down the road, rather than saying, I'm gonna work out 6 days a week. I'm gonna work out 2 days a week. Start small, okay? Anyways, my message for you today is to recognize that stress is involved in your physiology. You can do something about it, right? You have the control. And instead of saying I'm too busy from now on, just think, I can't make the time right now, right? Just be clear, there's nothing wrong with that, right? And when you decide it's important enough, you will decide to make the time and carve it out, okay? Otherwise, have yourselves a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.